Come on, Bernie. It's gold buying day.
Every single week, Fern and I buy gold off local prospectors to help with the pay dirt that we make.
Which means I gotta go to the bank.
Yeah, hundreds and 50s and 20s and 2s.
Yeah, well.
Fern, which would you prefer? Would you prefer this or this? So I pay above award rates for gold that comes from my local area, and that's one way that I can do, or one thing that I can do to help support local prospectors. There's no local gold buying shop in this area, even though we do have Beechworth Gold, but they don't buy gold from local prospectors, which I find a little bit weird. I reckon they should. You want a good smell there. And the reason for doing that is not only to help support local prospectors, but it means that I have people that can regularly buy gold off. Owning a pay dirt company means that you have to get a large volume of gold, and that is hard to do. My first buy of the day was actually from two people at the same time selling different quantities. One only wanted to round up to around 11 grams, while the other one had 3 grams to sell, meaning that I got a total of 13 grams. And feeling much like a drug dealer, the cash was exchanged, and I was on my way to the next buy. So for what I think are obvious reasons, I don't put the people I'm buying gold off on camera. That would be a bit rude, but that was two gentlemen I just bought off for 13 grams. I paid $105 a gram, spot price at the moment is $112. I allow a little bit of wiggle room in that spot price because I've got to take into account that when I buy for 3 or 4 people, there's going to be a level of black sand and impurities in there, and also the spot price will change throughout the day, and that gives me a buffer zone so that I can make a profit off the back end. Holy crap, it is wet out there, Fernie. Wet. Now, my pay dirt does absolutely contain gold from my own diggings. It's just that I physically can't keep up with the amount of gold that you need to run a successful pay dirt company, and that's why I have to buy some in. I do my utmost best to only buy local gold. I have occasionally bought outside of the region, so places like Gippsland, places like the Golden Triangle, simply because they offer a new type of gold, chunkier gold, maybe reef specimens, and that just adds what I think is a level of excitement to some of the pay dirts. But for the most part, 90% of the gold that I buy comes from Reedy Creek. At any rate, it's on to the next buy. I'm getting 5 more grams off the next gentleman, and I bought from him before, and that's part of the reason that we pay close to 24 carat spot price, even though the gold isn't pure, and even though the gold usually isn't 100% clean from most prospectors, because we want to build that good quality relationship that allows us to continuously buy gold. And just like all good drug deals, we're doing it in an abandoned area where there's very little people to witness what we're doing. I'm pretty sure this is legal. Look at this. This is a diamond that was found on Reedy Creek. It has been tested and authenticated as a diamond. That's what they look like. They come in a variety of colors. The Reedy Creek diamonds are also yellow, and they are exceedingly rare. There's officially only been about 73 of them found. I know more have been found, but there's 73 known diamonds in private collections. 5.1. Super rare Reedy Creek diamond seen and money exchanged. It was on to the last buy. Sounds like this guy's having a party. Knock knock.
Hey.
It's a gadget. Look at this.
Excuse my messy room.
No, don't excuse it.
No.
Slay him in the comments. Look at the jewellery man making jewellery and stuff. It's just, you can't see how pretty those gemstones are in the photos that he put up. They're really nice. Those stones are amazing.
Man.
Terrible wire wrapping.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I don't give up now.
So I'm buying Gadsy's gold.
It's
actually stuck to the scales. Bonanza City stuck to the sails gold. Sails? Scales?
snails.
Sailboats. Snails.
There should be 5.19 or something.
From a height too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, my scales are a bit off.
5.26. Nice.
Take probably 10 off that.
No, that's pretty clean.
Is it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Most people I buy off have a bit more black sand than that. Yeah, you do good work. That neatly brings us to the question of ROI, which is called return on investment. People make a lot of videos about this when they're talking about reviews. Miller Prospecting and Clash Guitars have both done reviews on my pay dirt, and they use the ROI formula to help rank pay dirts. And it kind of makes sense from a buyer's perspective. It means how much money are you going to make back in gold based on how much you spent in cash. I get about 65% return. So when I make a pay dirt up, you'll get about 65% of your money back in gold. A lot of people ask the question, well, why aren't they 100% ROI? And that's because that's bad business. That doesn't make any sense. Let's do the maths real quick. Put simply, on average, you'll get about a 65% return in gold on your purchase when you buy a 1 gram pay dirt from me. Now, I'm not making 35% profit. There are other things that go into it. So I've got the cost of the gold that goes into the bag. That's the first big cost. It's the main one. Then I have transaction fees on my website. Then I have transaction fees for the banking. So there's 2 lots of transaction fees, which on average total up to be about 3 to 5%, just depending on which service I use at the time and how people pay. Then we've got the little thing that we like to call packaging. I have to package up and send off the stuff. So everything it takes to package up the pay dirt, everything it takes to package the pay dirts, the bags that they come in, stamps, and then you got the other minor things like diesel, electricity, petrol, stuff like that, that it costs for me to go out and actually get the gold. At the end of it, I'm making about 15%, meaning about 20% of my profit is actually costs. So that 35% that's left over, about 20% of it's eaten up in just all of that stuff there. So you might get a 65% ROI, but because of all those things, ultimately I'm actually only making a 15 or 10% ROI depending on the spot price of the gold at the day. The other thing is a lot of people who have bought pay dirt in the past when the gold price was lower have more than doubled the money they initially spent because the gold price has gone up. And that will more than likely happen with all the pay dirt that's sold right now. Statistically speaking and historically speaking, gold price almost always just goes up. Anyway, that is how I buy and sell gold for my pay dirt company.